Well, joining us on the broadcast is Ashpreet Kadyal from the Congress Party. We also have Tara Kata, who's a distinguished fellow at the IPCS and a former director of the National Security Council Secretariat. Mr. Shashikant, who is the former DGP of Punjab, is also with us on the show. And Lalit Ambardar, who's a Kashmiri activist, is also joining us on the broadcast. Ashpreet, I want to come to you first. And, before we began that conversation, we had General Malik with us on the broadcast, the former army chief. And he said all this talk about from various political parties, and of course he didn't name anyone, I have to quote him correctly. He said there needs to be a broader consensus, political consensus in this country when it comes to the country of Pakistan. In the last 50 years, whichever government has come in, the other political party has targeted them. Once again, we are seeing the kind of politics, the political statements that have come out after the death of our brave hearts. But I believe the question is for all political parties, including the Congress, that have we really had a consistent policy when it comes to Pakistan? And is this really an occasion to take pot shots at each other?
Thank you, Anusha, for the question. Kindly allow me a minute and a half uninterrupted. First and foremost, it's very unfortunate that the Bharatiya Janata Party's government was busy, welcoming the Prime Minister, garlanding the Prime Minister, giving him a rousing welcome when our Jawans were fighting the terrorists, and when they were lying, in the line of duty, they were laying down their lives for us, for India. And the Bharatiya Janata Party's government, Prime Minister Mr. Modi, could not suspend his schedule to take stock of the operation and to make sure that an action was ordered in it immediately. And this is not the first time, Anusha, this has happened. Back in the day in 2019, when Pulwama happened, you remember that the former governor of Jammu and Kashmir, Mr. Satyapal Malik, he made big revelations that he called Mr. Modi and he said that the 40 Jawans that have been martyred have died due to our mistake, and Mr. Modi told him to keep quiet, is what he said in very clear words, the former governor. Number two, I want to ask the Bharatiya Janata Party's government, if there is a spokesperson sitting from them, that what inquiry was ordered into it? Was an inquiry ordered? Was anyone made accountable? Because Mr. Satyapal Malik also added that no inquiry was ordered by the Bharatiya Janata Party's government. Had it been ordered, the Home Minister, then Home Minister...
I've given you 1.5 minutes uninterrupted, as you said. My question to you was not on Pulwama. My question to you was on something that has happened right now. You've made certain opening arguments, but I'm afraid they're not contextual and relevant to the debate we are having right now.
I'm sorry, Anusha, I do not have to seek permission before addressing some concerns of the nation, concerns of the army, concerns of Indians. If the Bharatiya Janata Party's government has to show apathy every time an incident happens, I'm sorry, we will question them. And every time they have shown apathy, they have shown ignorance, we will make them accountable for that. Because we happen to be living in this country, surviving, breathing, living because of our Jawans, because of our soldiers. And if there are people, mothers, parents coming in front of the soldiers and saying that if bulletproof jackets would have been there, many lives could have been saved. Many Jawans could have been saved. I'm sorry. This government should feel ashamed for that.
All right.
Should apologize.
Let me try and bring in Mr. Lalit Ambardar, who's an activist also into this discussion. Mr. Ambardar, do you find this criticism that has been leveled on the government valid? I mean, the fact of the matter is, and most of the army veterans, including the former army chief, have said that, look, the number of casualties in Jammu and Kashmir have come down significantly. But because the attitude of the neighbor across the border has not changed, we cannot completely eliminate it. What we require in this country is a mature political consensus and a consistent policy when we are dealing with Pakistan. It cannot be just each time a discussion about should we play cricket with them. That's not going to, let Pakistan change their stance or their policy towards India.
Anusha, I feel so sorry that you just now, General Malik, the veteran, he spoke his mind, and as a soldier, he gave his opinion. And it has not had any impact on the political opinion being expressed right here on your channel. Can you imagine how you are taking pot shots on the government? Narendra Modi is supposed to order life jackets, bulletproof jackets for the soldiers. Is Narendra Modi responsible for the standard procedure that has been implemented at site? Is he responsible for that? And I may tell you, If you have to take pot shots on Narendra Modi, if you have to, you hate him, that's your democratic right. But you are doing in the meanwhile, in the process, you are hating India. You are letting down the nation. What has happened in Anantnag today is not a small skirmish. It's an act of war. You have 3 senior officers falling to the bullets of the jihadis right at the beginning of the operation. This should be a matter of concern. It's not Kargil. It's a mini Kargil happening right in the heart of the valley in Anantnag. So instead of coming together in support of the government, that you have an enemy which is an incorrigible enemy. Let me say it. The General Malik was referring to. Let me say it openly. Such as the government has bent down to see and to see and seek friendship with Pakistan. It's high time we realize seeking friendship with Pakistan is like chasing mirage. Can you imagine why? Because they have tasted blood. Blood in 1947 came as a big achievement of Ghazwa-i-Hind 1,000 years old war. They have achieved, they have tasted blood, and Kashmir Jihad is continuation of that, the 1,000 years of.
As far as the issue of policy, the medium to long-term policy issue is concerned, I believe Taraji has
Let me complete.
10 seconds to you, then I'll go to Tarakata. Please go ahead.
See, this government, any opposition party, let me say, even concluding this government, is yet to acknowledge formally what Kashmiri Hindus suffered, who were the first victims of Kashmir Jihad. Kashmir Jihad, Kashmiri Hindu genocide still goes unacknowledged.
I take that point.
Instead of giving a constructive suggestion to the government, you're only trying to, what you're doing, what you're doing.
Is divisive politics really the way when it comes to national security issues? I think that's the broader issue that we continue to talk about.